right, welcome in, folks, to the Game of Kick It podcast. I'm co-host Michael. I'm with Chuck here.
Howdy, brother.
What's up, Chuck?
What's up? Wait.
Not much, man. I'm just laughing my ass off over the college football playoff Final Four.
Yeah, we had a nice 30-minute discussion before we started recording.
I think every time we get on, I'm just going to hit record and just to cut in what we want.
But yeah, we were talking about how NCAA, the only sport in the entire NCAA Division 1, 2, 3 is that doesn't have a true playoff is football.
But yeah, man, football, crazy times. NFL's going. I mean, trying to keep up with that too. But there's so much on TV right now. It feels like anyway. Just trying to keep up on that is great.
Yeah.
Because like Fargo started back, Slow Horses just started back, and what was the other thing? For All Mankind.
Yeah.
That's just three of like many things that we're watching.
Well, and we talked a little bit about Fargo last week, the first episode. So episode 3 came out this week or last week, and then we didn't talk about Slow Horses, but they released 2 last week. We watched, and then For All Mankind just had episode 4 last week as well. So yeah, let's talk For All Mankind first, because I think it was probably the least exciting of all of the 3 shows. That I think we end on Fargo because got some wild takes on that one.
Yeah.
But
For All Mankind was definitely the weakest of the trio. They definitely were the Michigan of the top 4.
Yeah. And it was kind of like an episode to move the season. I mean, it's kind of a setup episode, I think. I mean, there were some things happening, like, I guess to me, couple major plot points in this episode was Billy Baton Rouge, or Miles, sent home a Mars ruby, Mars glass rock that Sam found for him when she was out on the surface, sent it home to his daughter. And is this bad mothering too? Like, the daughter was carrying around of her, and then they went to the Galleria, which I'm assuming they drove to Houston from Baton Rouge, like his wife and daughter. And we're in a jewelry store in the Galleria, and she was playing with her moon or Mars rock like she always does. And the jewelry place bought it from them for $5,000.
Yeah.
And so now Miles has this whole scheme that he wants to go collect Mars glass to send back home. But Ilya, the main importer that he's working for now, doesn't want to be import export. He only wants to be import.
Yeah. Oh, import export now. No.
The Seinfeld episode. You remember that? I'm an importer exporter, or what?
What's he dealing? Potato chips. Yeah. I thought of that too when I saw that. Ilya like wants nothing to do with it. More hands, more money. He's going to lose. The more greater the risk he's going to get caught. It's going to happen either way. I can already feel that coming. Miles is going to rat him out like the dirty dog that he is. But he's going to try to harvest these rocks, and he tries to get his friend Sam, right? Her name, like tries to get her to help him, and she's like, "Nah, man, I'm too wound up that like." So, like, because the Russian astronaut pushed the other Russian astronaut outside and caused him to decompress.
Yeah, the big thing at the beginning, now is in the last episode, Russia is now taken over from Gorbachev with the new leader, and he's trying to bring back kind of like a Stalin-era Russia. And so one of the astronauts, or one of the Helios workers, like down below, like in the silo, like the cellar dweller people, was one of them, and it was a backer of the new guy, and Svetlana, Edward's girlfriend, and fellow weed enthusiast, um, got an argument because she's a Gorbachev man, and they push each other. And apparently, in space, like weight doesn't make a difference, and she was able to easily push him over, and he hit some object, and the spacesuit came open, and a little tear on the shoulder. She didn't try to cover it up, and now the new leadership in Russia wants her to come home so they can murder her. And yeah,
Yeah, she assaulted Soviet cosmonauts. She must pay. Oh, by the way, she's a big Gorbachev fan. We want to kill her. Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So that kickstarts the kind of, and that's kind of been a theme of the season: the people above ground versus the people below ground, the Helios workers versus like NASA, Russian cosmonauts,
blue collar versus
you know,
blue bloods. Yeah,
yeah, blue collar, white collar, so that Sam couldn't deal with it because her buddy was in hyperbaric chamber with the bends and trying to
yeah.
recover. I didn't know if he had a space embolism or
I
whatever.
was enjoying watching his eyeballs get sucked out of his skull. Yeah,
Yeah, that was great because they just turned like they were sucking in and turning red. It was like, this is badass. That was one of the best parts of the episode.
some of the best special effects ever on the show in its entirety.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
I mean,
Yeah, so subtle.
this episode was really good at that though, because like everybody's face, like all the old people, were like fucking purple and like black, and like Ed, like they did some close up with Ed, and it was like, I'm like, I kept thinking, does space like do that to you, or is this just like the special effects to age him up? Like,
Right.
him and
He looks
Margot
like
had
the
like the
surface of
same.
the moon.
Yeah, him and Margot have the same, like, I guess they sit together while they get their makeup done to make them aged up, because they look, their faces were like just, I don't know. This show
Oh,
is
it's
so
so
funny
great.
sometimes because it's like really good and like really bad at the same time in certain areas, but that's what makes it
Yeah.
great. But I mean, it's space and it's fun. It's
Yeah,
fucking
it's great. I
fantastic.
mean, you got to suspend some belief, but it's fucking great because,
Yeah.
like,
Well, just
Billy, but
the
yeah,
the, the other part is like when Billy Baton Rouge is talking, he's talking to Ilya about sport and expanding, and they're going through two things with the whole. That's why I skipped right to that at the beginning, because the two things with that is like he starts listing off what the North Koreans want, and they like want fungus cream, like put fungus cream, socks, and then Fruit of the Loom, and Ilya's like gold mine, really, like not the list of the Americans that wanted like 6 different types of porn,
yeah,
and
that's not the gold mine. Like,
yeah. It's
these
like,
guys are
I make
depraved as fuck.
most of my money is coming from underwear and foot fungus cream, like.
Yeah. He's
And
about to
so,
make a
and then,
shitload of money through human trafficking.
yeah, yeah, he's like, how are we doing on Lee's things? Like, I'm
Yeah,
working on it. And then he's
yeah.
like, I got my best guy on it. And how long do you
He
know that
wants
guy?
nothing
I've
to.
known him.
He wants nothing to do with exporting like Martian rocks, but he's all for human trafficking. What the fuck?
Exactly. What? Yeah. What are like his morals and ethics?
Yeah,
Like, where does it end? So crazy.
yeah,
And then the second part of Billy Baton Rouge is the whole deal was he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go out on my own and farm these space rocks and send them back home for my wife to sell. And so he asked Sam to take him, and she's like, I'm not getting involved because I'm sad about her friend that got, you know, almost that got the bends. Yeah.
Did they ever share a scene together in this season? Like she's all been out of shape.
Oh, she's been in scenes like with the redheaded guy in the beginning, and then like the black dude that they work with, and then Ilya, and then I've never seen her talk. We got to go back and watch, but like,
Yeah,
I don't think they've never shared like that they're like best friends or that. But it's all like, you and I watch Silo on Apple TV, and Did you read the book? And I'm like reading the
Yeah.
book, and it's like it's kind of the thing of like the 1% versus the other 99. But I mean, that's the way it's coming across, and that's kind of a silo. Oh, one of ours is now up above, and like,
Right.
oh my god, they're like killing our people, and
Yeah.
so
It's all
yeah, I think
relational.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, but it's like yeah, there's never been like where they even like passed each other in the hall and said hi. It's like he's a brown shirt just like us, or like
Right. Yeah.
it's so stupid. That was good. That's a good.
It's
Uh,
it's so ridiculous. Yeah.
but
But yeah.
she's sad, so she's not going to drive him out on the Rover. But he to get on one like, and they have one an old blue spacesuit that he can wear, and Miles is like, why can't I have one like that? Like
Yeah.
the nice spacesuit. And but
Would have
then
been
they just
great
take him.
had he joked. Had he joked and been like, I don't have one of those, but I got a fucking roll of duct tape around here somewhere. Shout out to Gordo and his
Gordo,
ex-wife. Yeah.
yeah. Oh shit. And then it's just like they're just like he's like, I want to get dropped off here, like, and then he's out walking by himself, and I can't imagine protocol would be to let the air conditioner repairman go out on the surface and then not an astronaut be with him.
Yeah.
And he's got a
It's
fucking like he's like, I'm gonna collect some fucking Mars rocks or space fixings for my air condition. I don't like makes zero sense.
in
Like,
what world does NASA not have a buddy rule where if you go out, you go with a buddy?
yeah.
Like, there's no, and like, second of all, no tracking capability whatsoever. She's like, hey, he's got to be fucking around here somewhere. Like when Sam
Well,
goes
she
looking for him.
well she told him where to find the rock,
Yeah.
and then of course his dumb ass is like trying to get this rock on the side of a cliff, and of course he falls over, and you know
I
then
love that he's just sitting in the bottom of the trench, just like waiting for death. Like, you fucking weak ass motherfucker.
he's just like he's just wait like, oh, Sam's gonna come and get me at some point, or it's like, oh, those other guys that dropped me off are probably around here somewhere, and they're wondering about me. But
Yeah.
like his homeboy, like, hey, where's Miles? I thought he'd be with you. Like, I didn't go, and it's like, you should be back by now. It's been five. And she's like, oh, it's been 5 hours. Oh shit! Let me get in the Rover and go
Yeah.
find him.
Let me check this Rover out because we've got a whole fucking park. I don't know if you can see back here. We got a whole parking lot of Rovers just not being used. So I'm gonna take
The
this
funny
one. Just a wall of fucking keys.
thing, like he when he falls and he slides down the hill for like, I don't know, 10 seconds, and then like you're like, and then they pull up, and she looks like the hillside just took about three, and we're like 10 feet in there. Like, it's not even. It's like, oh my god, he fell into like this fucking crater and his leg's broken, and it's like literally he can almost reach the top.
For real. I thought like, holy shit, this dude fell like 30 feet and he's probably got a
Yeah,
broken leg. And like he's
yeah.
literally, it's just like this. It's like, oh shit, I can't make that.
Oh, I can't try to climb up the side or jump and grab onto the top.
Yeah. Horrible perspective if it's bigger than that. So bad. The fact that he didn't break anything is ridiculous.
He was losing oxygen somehow, or he was using a lot.
Yeah.
Well, no, he wasn't losing. It was just in his suit. But I thought like, and then he got in the Rover, and she's like, he cut himself, but like the other guy came open and he was like fucking inverting like within 5 seconds, but Miles, he had an injury or something because Sam was tending to it. I kind of was looking
Yeah.
away, but
I didn't quite understand that. I was thinking maybe it
yeah,
was something inside the suit, like the suit was.
maybe something. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
yeah, I gotta go
I
back and
thought the
watch
same thing.
that
She was
part.
like, "Oh, you bashed your shoulder," and like you just see the fucking accordion part of his sleeve is just like pushed in, and it's like, oh shit, it ain't that bad.
Well, and I thought like I was waiting for an Ed and Svetlana moment. I thought like they were gonna make out on the Rover,
Oh, that's coming.
but
Yeah,
it's got to be coming. Like,
it's coming. Ed missed out on his,
Yeah.
which is typical Ed.
Yeah.
Billy Baton
So
Rouge is gonna get his. Yeah.
we spent a lot of time on Miles, so we got that whole bit, and then we got basically all, we got fucking Daniel Stern back on Earth, like trying to negotiate with the Russians because the Russians want to send Svetlana home, and um, so they can murder her. And he's like, I've negotiated with the UAW, so I can handle the Russians, and we're gonna leave her up there. And then fucking new head of space at Roscosmos just tore him up. It's like, all right, well, you don't want to honor agreement. We'll just pull out of everything, and then everybody else starts backing the Russians, and then again, the Russians like Danny's like, the communications aren't working. Yes, we put it in Russian again, and and
it's like,
why
did
did
you
do
control
that?
the whole fucking like user interface?
Yeah, you're not the leader anymore. We have new leader.
Yeah.
In Soviet Russia, leader leads you. And Danny's like, what in tarnation is going on?
Yeah, Daniel Stern, he's supposed to be like oh my gosh, he's supposed to
He
be
was the
like
head of like GM or Chrysler, and then he retired, or they brought him in to run NASA.
yeah, he's supposed to be like Robert McNamara, basically. So
Yeah.
McNamara, you like ran Ford. He was the first non-Ford family member to run Ford, and then JFK brought him in to be Secretary of Defense. He's supposed to be like that, where he's like, I can do all of this shit, turn this company around, and blah blah blah. And it's like, dude, this is politics. Like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
As we learned when we put a businessman in the White House, it doesn't always work out well because the government purpose is not to run like a business, whether you like it or not. It's to support the people, not turn a profit and post, like high ROIs, and there's a reason for it, and it's not to create wealth for the shareholders.
I know that lemonade stand that Biden like was running before he fucking became like president as a fucking joke. So
yeah. Well, has he ever worked outside of politics?
No, he's always been he's always been a politician. Yeah.
It's interesting to see, because I was always a big proponent of having a businessman as the president, but I don't think you can really run a country like you do a business almost, because you have social programs and
the amount of debt that the government like carries year to year is it's not like a business.
But it's interesting. But so he's trying to negotiate with the Russians, and that fails miserably.
Al Gore sticks his foot up his ass, and like, it's great. Fucking great.
He's like going like he's fucking on the treadmill dealing with it emotionally, and like cursing up a storm, and his wife comes in and says, "What in tarnation are you doing? You're not
thought this was supposed to be our sunset years."
Yeah. You're never gonna stop. Maybe we should go to India. And he's like, he starts zoning out, and like, oh my god! And then he negotiates that India is gonna take her off the shuttle and give her a fair trial because they're neutral, and the only neutral country in the M7 agreement. So now we got that. So, and Margot now is making headway inside Roscosmos. She befriended somebody. Killed. She investigated the murdering two people scenario from episode 1. Determined that it was bad Russian
program.
Bad Russian design on the capture, and then Kirloff, I think is the guy's name.
Kirill.
Now Kirill is gonna get fucking 86th, 187 by the Russian.
Oh yeah, he's on a Stalin list for sure. He's been pulled out. Yeah.
And it was all in Russian, so we don't know what they said. And then she's like, "Where's he going?" Oh, he's gonna go find new employment.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He find new employment.
Now
At what point is Margot gonna stop being so fucking naive?
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know.
and
I
then
get we
it,
have such a skewed like perspective of Soviet Russia, like
yeah,
versus I guess what they would, but I don't know.
yeah. Well, it's funny because then the head of Roscosmos gives her a picture of what's his name? Not Yevgeny,
Sergey.
uh, Sergey,
Yeah.
and she's like, "I was close with Sergey. I know about you guys," or like. So I'm like, "What the fuck is that? Is she gonna try to bring Sergey back?" Like,
I think that was a typical corporation. Thanks for doing such a good job. Here's
yeah,
$10 gift card to TGI Fridays on the Big
yeah.
Red.
Here's
Thanks.
your pizza
Yeah.
party.
Yeah.
In lieu
Yeah.
of raises this year, we're having a pizza party.
What was Severance? It was the uh jazz
The
party.
dance, the was it the dance?
Yeah, what was that?
Oh, that was great. Or while you're looking at that, yeah, and then she has the conversation with the girl she befriended, and it was all in Russian, and I couldn't tell if she was upset that Kirill has been murdered out of Roscosmos or what, because
Yeah.
it was all in Russian. But I'm assuming that was the conversation, and she was upset with Margot for tattletaling on it. But and then the episode
Yeah.
ends. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
What's
No,
the
no,
dance
yeah.
party?
No, I couldn't find it.
What's this? Um, going back up to space, so they made a decision. Svetlana's on the next train out, uh, going to India. Ed is trying to convince her to say he said he's found a in sub level 4 abandoned room that like she can hang out in. He'll bring her food, uh, and then they kiss and said, "Don't throw away your career for me." I mean, even though he's like 97 years old and his career is long gone,
Yeah,
but
like what
I,
more
I
does he?
think when
She's the younger one. Jesus, dude.
yeah, and then Ed walks her down through like apparently everybody's standing out like following her into the shuttle, which was weird. But I forgot the whole Danny and Ed blow up, which was great because he was all pissed at her for following orders from the top, and it's like, oh, you're just trying to please the higher ups, and she's like, I came out of fucking retirement, like I was
Yeah,
cool just kicking it at home. I ain't trying to please anybody. He's
he's
like
so
you're just trying
typical.
to take care of people you love, and
Yeah,
it blinds your judgment. And I think Ed's doing it because she was flying, you know, he was having her besides the love part and smoking weed partner, but he can't fucking fly anymore, and she was starting to take over for that. So,
yeah.
and he was putting in that position. So what's going to happen now is here's what I think is going to happen. So now Margot, something's going to happen this way. Margot came and blamed the Russian stuff for the capture program, not Ed, as Kirla said. It's Ed. And so now Svetlana comes home and Ed's going to have to be involved in that capture program. And he's going to fuck up something because he's got fucking slow hand. And now they're going to be like, Margot, I thought it was, there's going to be something that happens because Ed can't fucking drive anymore because he's
Yeah, I don't know
87 years
where.
old.
I don't know where they're taking this. Like with like Billy Baton Rouge. Like, what's his fucking role in all of this?
Yeah,
Is he like
that's
supposed to be the spark in like the counterpeg that is like World War space? I don't get
yeah. This restart of the Cold War, as Al Gore said.
it.
You're single-handedly responsible for starting the Cold War.
Yeah. Like,
But
is is Miles supposed to be the replacement main character that is Ed?
hope not. There's no charisma with that motherfucker. At least with Ed, he's like still got his like fake passion, and
Yeah. He's still
Miles
he's
just
still
look.
he still pisses red, white, and blue. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you just want to please the fucking higher ups, and I'm just trying to save people's lives.
yeah. Ed is doing shit for love, country, and Miles is like, out to make a buck. Miles is like, oh, you're not watching Beef, but he's about to scam somebody there, and but like he thinks he's gonna make his wife happy, who wants to leave him by making money, which is
That's what
never the case in
that's
a
what makes
marriage.
Ed so great is that when Kelly decided to leave him, he fucking white finger and was like, "Go on, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Nobody needs you around here anymore." And Miles is like, "If I make more money, will you love me? Please, for the love of God."
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know where they're going with this fucking show, but it's great.
Yeah, I have
It's
no idea
bad,
what's
but
gonna
it's
happen.
great.
Like, yeah. What role does Miles? I mean, I'm assuming Miles and Ilya are gonna get caught in their schemes.
Have to.
North Korea's got to come. They've been kind of quiet when they smuggle aboard his wife, and that gets found out. Now
How
they
the
also
fuck is that going to work?
stuff her in a box, like all the other stuff. Like
She can't leave their cabin. She just has to stay in like her little like 6x6 room. Like,
yeah, uh, yeah. This is very perplexing.
I don't.
she they ship her up there and they open the box and she's dead. Sorry, that would be classic.
Oh my god, that's great. That's fucking great. Oh my god.
And they're like, "Oh, here's your Miles, come here."
Yeah, they like cracked. Oh, fuck! Put that back on.
Oh shit.
Send it back. This is the wrong box. I got my best.
Oh,
guy on it, I
we
swear
haven't
to
been
God.
able to ship her up here yet. We haven't. Swear to God. Miles sends the body back accident. Or like just he's got space rocks all around her. When he gets home to his wife, and she's thinking it's like a dead fucking North Korean lady in there.
He's like, use part of the money to dispose of this. Thanks.
Take 5 rubies. Go cut her up. Dispose of her in the swamp. Go drive to the Appalachian Bass Lafayette, or before Lafayette, the Atchafalaya Basin Bridge, and throw her off, and put her in bag. Actually, don't put her in a bag. Throw the body parts over for the gators to get her.
It's the world where the Killing Fields killer has never been found, and so they just throw her off of I-45.
It's fucking like Miles. Miles is the I-45 killer. It's a tie into the Texas Killing Field. Oh shit, that's fucked up. I'm sorry.
Whoa, that's fucked up. Oh shit, that went off the rails. Yeah.
So I think it's about time to move on to Slow Horses.
Slow Horses.
And Fargo.
Yeah.
We were going to try to keep a 15-minute limit on each, and that went way off the rails.
Some trimming. Yeah.
But
that was hilarious.
That's all good discussion.
I think we could write a better script than they could. I think it'd be fucking hilarious. But
yeah.
Slow Horses this week was unbelievable, dude. I watched it Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember.
Well, you watched them two separate. You watched the first one when it came out, and the second one over the weekend.
That's right.
Because they released 2 at a time.
That's right.
Which sucks now because there's only 4 episodes left.
Yeah, it's such a short season. But hey, we get this season now. We get the next season in like 6 months instead of having to wait till 2025 like White Lotus.
Yeah. So the first 2 episodes came out. The first one starts off in Turkey, and we get some new characters, and and
it's
then
like
of course
spy on spy. They're in a relationship, and that she's like trying to leak some information. We don't know what's in it. We just know that the file's name is Footprint, and like the guy's trying to her lover's trying to find it, but of course she hid it too well. And then she goes to give it to her handoff. We assume that's her handoff, or her handler, for whom they're gonna blow the lid off of this thing, and she winds up dead, thrown over the side, and the guy's like, oh shit, that's how this whole season kicks off.
Yeah, and then so now the same group with the guy from Turkey.
Yep.
Well, it's not Turkish, but they were in Turkey.
Yeah, they were in Turkey.
And he's back in London, and his crew kidnap Standish.
Yep.
And great first episode, and it's like all this very quick, very fast paced scenes with Cartwright. Is it Cartwright?
Yep. Yeah, Cartwright. Yeah.
What? River Cartwright.
River Cartwright.
They basically got a minute to get to this bridge, and he runs into his old pal from
Spider,
the park, and is apparently out. I think he had the problem last season, and he doesn't work for the park anymore.
He got like shot or stabbed in the tower at the end of last season, and is basically out of commission. I don't know if he like gave up on it or something, but yeah, like so. Yeah, this season opened with like the whole thing in Turkey, and then they have the slow horses like doing all the paperwork, like filing or documentation, cataloging, for like all of the park, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
and then like they're leaving, and like Catherine gets followed, and Cartwright saw her, but because he's a shitty spy, he doesn't think to follow. And she gets picked up right after going to AA after talking to the guy from Turkey, and that's like then like Rivers like gets brought into it. He gets the phone call from Standish's phone, and he's like, "Be at this bridge in 10 minutes, or she's dead." And he gets a picture of her with a gun to her head. And then they want him to break into the park to get like the vetting file on the prime minister, which is fucking great.
Yeah, and it was great because you see, I mean, like Gary Oldman's character Jackson Lamb, like River Cartwright bumps into the guy, is following Standish, doesn't think about it, and then like Jackson Lamb's like seeing a doctor, like farting and shit in the waiting room of this very fancy.
He's like passed out in 3 chairs.
But he's noticed like somebody following him, and as he's walking down the street, you see a knife. He drops a knife out of his hand.
Yeah,
and then
he got a fucking doner kebab from the fucking halal place and took their fucking meat shaver.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
and like the guy, I guess maybe saw when he did that and turned around or whatever, and then he dropped the knife into the sewer grate. Like it was, but it's like top notch. It's Gary Oldman; he's so great, but
acting, writing. I mean, the cinematography it just builds, right? It all builds up to these moments, and like River, like under the guise of return. So last season, right, there was the whole thing with the Russians and the diamonds.
Yeah,
and one diamond is missing, and we find out it's with Louisa. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, who's just fucking random guys, like to not feel anything. And she has a diamond hidden ice
cream out of the freezer, like But yeah, like River takes the like fake diamond off of Spider's tie, and like takes it to the park, pretending to return it, and of course gets into beef with the head of the dogs or whatever. And then he like goes. He basically is on the run in the park. It winds up in the records room with that lady that knows Jackson.
Yeah, it's no dogs in the. Are you a dog? No.
So fucking good, yeah.
To go recap on both these, but it was just such a good show. So fast paced, 6 episodes, like spy, MI5, espionage, intrigue,
and there's like contracted like military groups who are doing work, and Lamb goes to talk to his buddy who's like at the laundromat, which is fucking great.
Yeah, that's great.
And he's like, "Oh, it can't be this group." And he's like, "How do you know?" And he's like, "Because I'm doing the logistics for it."
Yeah. So they determine what group it is, and like, there's like, at the end of the episode, it's like they're a Tiger team, and I'm like, "Fuck the Tiger team," for like whatever organization that they're working for. So we'll find out more. I didn't research what Tiger team was, but
I didn't either.
It's a fascinating show, and it's such an easy good watch, and everything makes sense at the end of the season. Got a lot of really good British actors. It had Olivia Cook in the first season from, House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
And, she was only in season one, before I think she died at season one. But
Yep, she got popped
and they're
off.
based on, well, the guy has like 12 books or something.
Yeah,
There's like, I mean,
there's
this,
so much
and it's
source
great
material.
because Gary Oldman said he'll do it till he's dead or whatever
Yeah,
he said.
I'll do
Like,
this till I fucking retire. Yeah, so good.
it's great. It's 6 episodes, and it's all he gets to be like a fucking genius that's like smelly and big belly and just says whatever he wants. It's great. It's the perfect role.
I love how everybody else in the show runs but him, and he just winds up like having to be like at that spot. He's like, "What fucking took you so long?" I
Yeah,
love that.
because he's
So
like a
good.
genius in that field. Like he knows what's gonna happen,
He knows. Yeah.
and all these other chuckle fucks like think they're better than him, right?
Yep.
Like
Oh, he's
I think
old. He
that's
doesn't know shit. Like he's out of
yeah,
shape and all this, and he's still better than they are. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Gary
Such
Oldman,
a great
by the
show.
way, fantastic actor. I mean, I just rewatched the clip from Oppenheimer where he's Truman and he calls Truman a crybaby, and I was just like, this is the same fucking actor. Like this guy's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah,
So
yeah. Amazing.
yeah, Slow Horses, people. If you haven't watched it, catch up. It's only season 3. It's 6 episodes a season. It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, there's some carryover with the diamonds from last
Yeah,
season,
yeah. There's
but
small carryovers. Yeah,
you really can watch them separately, but
yeah,
and maybe with a little explanation. But uh, it's a real, it's a fun watch if you want like a good, like just kind of intense show. Like
yeah.
especially the first. I mean, both episodes were. I mean, River is going through the park. He's punching people. Uh, Conniving his way into different areas and escaping through vents and behind a car and walking out and then running through the actual park near the park. We like the park. I don't know if it's called the park in real life in London, but where like we walk past it in
Yeah.
central London, like on the west side, and there's a park across the street. I mean, we've been through. I walked past the building he came out of. I've been like in that park that he was running out of, and the dogs found him.
So crazy.
You know, like it's all right in London. Like it's fantastic.
I love it.
I mean, this is like based on shit that goes on, or I
Yep.
mean, maybe not all of it, but I mean, it's a real place. But
Yeah.
um, so yeah, good stuff.
Yep.
Can't wait to watch the rest.
Yeah. It's not going to be much longer. I mean, we only have like 4 more episodes, but it'll be great.
Yeah,
And then, the other show that we've been watching behind that is Fargo, which is, I think we took the right level of shows, like For All Mankind,
yeah.
Slow Horses, and then Fargo. Fargo is the new Outer Range. Like it's out
Oh
there.
man, I asked Mike a question this week, and I thought he had a really good answer. But can a show be like weird? Can a show be too weird to be successful? I mean,
I mean, for us, I don't think so.
yeah,
I mean, people love American Horror Stories,
yeah.
Story.
Yeah, I watch
They
all of
love
them.
that
Like,
weird shit. Um, this is definitely on the weirder side for not so much for me, but I'm just thinking in terms of like normal TV shows.
yeah.
Like Fargo's been kind of out there. I mean, I think last season and this season have definitely been like the most out there kind of seasons. Um, in
Well, I
terms
think
of like the weirdness.
the first three. I mean, I think second season was probably the weirdest by now because the UFO shows up at the battle at the battle at the motel, and like
Yeah.
again, things take people up in
And like
the
season
beam.
season
Like,
4, like that house is like haunted or some shit. And like the nurse is a serial
yeah,
killer. It's just weird.
yeah,
But
that's
like,
right. You got the nurse who is killing people. Yeah,
yeah.
as a side
But
plot in there.
then there are shows like Outer Range, which are just fucking weird, right? And
Yeah,
I don't think for us at least, I don't think a show can be too weird. I
yeah,
think we enjoy it more the more bizarre it is, the more
yeah,
eclectic it is. I don't know.
yeah,
I for some people maybe that watch like mainline network TV, but we watch the
yeah,
weird.
and that's I love weird stuff, and I think if this think it works on FX because
Yeah.
FX has had those type of shows. Like, I don't think this would work on CBS or
No.
NBC. I think people like Yellowstone because it's like a Godfather thing, but in the country, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, like look at the nice. It's Kevin Costner and got cowboy hat on, and he's just
It's
trying
family
to.
based.
It's
Yeah.
family, and you know, it's they're just you know, so it's like that can be okay. But like, yeah, I don't think Fargo would work on like NBC or CBS or definitely not ABC or CBS. But
Yeah.
it's
FX
this.
has the ability to get weird. I mean, I don't know if you ever saw it, but there was a show called The Strain where it was like this,
I
like,
I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, it's fucking weird. I watched the first and second season, and it got so weird. It didn't
It,
lose me. I just lost interest, but it was fucking weird, man. Like you can't
you
do that on just NBC.
you want to talk about weird? There was a show on Baskets that I watched, or FX that I watched called Baskets with
Oh yeah,
Zach Galifianakis, and Louis
yeah,
Armstrong played his mom.
so
Like,
weird.
and Baskets was a rodeo clown. Like, and then Zach Galifianakis also played his twin brother in the show. That was an insurance salesman. Like, one of the weird. Like, you think Outer Range was weird?
Yeah,
This was fucking fantastic as well. So I mean, they're known for that
yeah,
kind of. They'll take on a lot of like interesting projects, and I think it's the perfect home for Fargo. I mean, we watch it on Hulu,
for
but I
sure.
think we're talking about weirdness because I mean, we're back to the return of Fargo, like following kind of the movie, the Coen brothers influence, and more in line of season one, two, and three than four. Four's kind of like the outlier. I mean, there's definitely some weird shit, but it was way in the past, focused on. I think they were trying to focus on like race relations, the
Yeah,
Italians and African American. Like at the time, that was a struggle. Um, but we got to see the origin of Mike Milligan. You know,
yeah,
basically, Chris Rock kid, I think, is what it was in season four.
yeah.
But you know, like so that was kind of a cool connection. But definitely the weakest of the season. But I think the weird comment comes from this episode in particular, was which was like one of the best 38 minutes of TV that I've seen. Like it was so bizarre and beautiful like at the same time.
I watched it and I immediately texted you and our Marcus, our buddy from work. Like, what the fuck did I just watch in Fargo? It was so weird, but I was
Yeah.
captivated. I had to watch it again. It was so crazy.
Yeah, I watched it. I ended up watching it three times. I watched it back to back, and then I watched it. I think Monday night or Sunday night.
Yeah,
And it, I didn't lose interest
no,
either time. I think,
there's so much going on.
yeah. I mean, Nadine is preparing for. Well, now we know she's Nadine because, but Dorothy Lyon, um, in her new life, is preparing for
Which great last
people
name,
to
by
come
the
get.
way. So many levels to the show. Lion, like she's lying about who she is. There's so many levels to the show.
Well,
It's so great.
and there's some animal references as well in prior seasons of Fargo with the women and like Carrie Coon's character from season
Hmm.
three, Molly in season two, like Ted Danson's daughter. No, she was it season no season one with Colin Hanks um and then Ted, she's still Ted Danson's daughter, and she's a little baby in season
Yep.
two. But yeah, a lot of most, a lot of the female, and then we have the cop female in this one with the husband who wants to be a professional golfer.
Oh
but
my god, yeah, dude. What?
but so female officers, and then like Kirsten Dunst's character in season two, um, the North Dakota lass of that crime family that's down in Kansas City. And we remember we had freaking Kieran Culkin in season 2 as well.
Oh yeah.
Like as one of the brothers of that North Dakota crime family. But yeah, so back to this episode. I mean, just Dorothy's preparing for people coming together, and she's got the household booby trapped, and talking about Halloween costumes, and
she's got her shopping list.
yeah, and she's got a shopping list. It was like, I forget, it was like, AR-15, bread,
eggs, milk,
yeah,
Browning M22 or whatever it was. Yeah.
And then, but they determined they were going to be zombie hunters, and the husband was going to be a zombie. Yeah. And they go to the gun store, and she knows all the guns, and and she gets pissed that they can't. She's got to be on a waiting list, so they start looking at pepper spray and other stuff. But, yeah, she's prepping for what's coming, and she knows her ex is after her, and then when they're about to go on Halloween, but the phone rings, and Sheriff Roy Tillman, our buddy John Hamm, is Nadine singing. There's a song, great. I'm coming for you, and like,
dude, yeah, he's like, in bed, like smoking a joint, and his like new wife comes in and is trying to like hook up with him, which is like super awkward. And he's just like smoking a joint in bed, and he's like, "Get off of me!" And he's like, "There you are!" And he's like imagining her in the ceiling. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, and he's like, she's like, "You want and hey, Daddy, do you want the school girl or the
stranded hitchhiker?"
Yeah. He's just not even paying attention because he's like seeing
Nadine.
Dorothy Nadine in the ceiling. It was great.
Yeah,
all in so glorious nipple ring fashion. And then this is before I get to the main thing. A lot of what's the masks that they have on and music from that movie.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yes, Nightmare Before Christmas. They play the music in a completely different scene before the mask. Like,
great use.
But the needle drops in this episode were amazing. Like, "Smack My Bitch Up" by Prodigy is playing like during the whole scene. And it's like, the music in this episode it was perfect for every different level. And so we haven't even talked about Ula yet. Like, so the hitman that was hired, that had some of the best lines about, "You hire me to go housewife, but that's no housewife. That's a tiger," like, but as we find out in this episode, like, he's back in North Dakota, and we see an old lady walking past everything on Halloween, goes into a house, sits down, shopping cart, sits down with her beers, drinking beers, and hears noise upstairs. She looks up, goes up there, opens the door. It's Ola sitting in the rocking chair. "I live here now," and just you're like, what? And she just closes the door and goes back downstairs. And then one of the coolest things is like flash cuts to 500 years earlier, like, you're
in like Wales,
and you're like, this thing about, looks like Ola in this church at a funeral, and apparently he's a sin eater, and so
that's
they get
like no, I don't know if that's what they are, but
they pay peasants to eat something, and then they were drinking his blood.
Basically, like, eat what, like, the guy died and they're passing him on to the next, to the afterlife, and they want the peasant, some guy who's just poor, just deep.
He's just a peasant, and they, like, I guess back then paid people to like take on spirit, like in their soul or spiritually, these persons' like transgressions or sins, and then he would consume a meal which was on the body. It was like something, and then he would drink wine, or maybe it was blood. I think it was.
It
blood.
looked like blood. I watched it on the third one, and he like presses down on the guy and comes out into the cup. It looked like that's what was happening, and then he's forcing it down his throat, basically.
And then they like he gives him like the 2 coins off of his eyes, and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And like, but he just like watches him leave and like looks at him out the window. So weird.
Yeah, and so I think Noah Hawley described him as a timeless creature. So like there's a lot of debate, is he ancestor of that, or is he like the guy from 500 years ago? And like kind of, is that what he does? Is he eats the sins of others, or he like, and then, you know, I was wondering, is that his mom? Like, because later on when he leaves, he's like, I'm going out, mama. Like, it's like, or is that just like, I don't know. It's
is he like,
and then
is he reincarnated, or is he 500 years old?
Yeah.
Like,
or is he just from this lineage of, you know,
of these people from Wales, or is it that he like consumes these like sins and it causes him to live like forever? Like the Green Mile, for lack of a better analogy. But
but we'll never. The beautiful thing about Fargo is we'll never know. Like
we'll never know.
Alien, the alien spaceship showing in season 2. There's no explanation of what that was. It just happens.
Yeah, but a sin eater was a poor person hired to absorb the sins of a recently deceased soul. Families would spare their deceased members the discomfort of purgatory. They would give him a ceremonious meal prepared by the deceased family for him to eat, often bread and ale. Oh my God, yeah. See, that's what's so great about this Soul show, is like they're just pulling like weird shit out of like medieval times.
Yeah, and so we see Ula leaving, and then, you know, he's going, and then it's a whole great like last 5-10 minutes of the episode where Joe Carey and his buddies in the Night Before Christmas Mask, or Nightmare Before Christmas Mask, are driving through trying to find Nadine, Dorothy's house. She switches up in like almost like the Grinch, like going through and changing out street signs, and then they're like following the GPS, like, well, that's not what the street sign says. Like, so they're trying to find her, and we're flash cutting to John Hamm sitting in his like in his church thing on his land, and Ula in a fucking cave, or like, you know what it looks like? It's like where Jesus went. Like you could cover it with a rock, right? Like
it's just like this like earthen like tomb thing.
And he's in there. He takes one of his goats and cuts it, you know, like nuts to guts, and was rubbing blood and eating it, and like fucking, is that when Prodigy like Smack My Bitch Up is playing? Like
I think so.
It's just, it's like, and he's like chanting, and even before that, the part Ula's like laying on the bed with newspapers and eating new like pages out of the Bible, and like all kinds of weird shit. And now he's in the cave, and he's like doing some ceremony and some language, and all of a sudden these like hieroglyphic like lit up figures appear out of the wall behind him. We see him like walking into the house, into Sheriff Roy Tillman's house, with just blood like on his feet, and just
covered it.
And that's how, I mean, that's how we end. And at the same time, Gator and his boys are at Nadine's house, like basically walking up to the door. So we got like,
after John Hamm tells him like only people we trust, and he's got like burnout 22-year-olds fighting over Nightmare Before Christmas masks in the back of the truck, like idiots.
That's gonna, I see that not going well. So I can't wait till this week's episode, which we'll talk about later on next week, of what happens, because we're gonna have some game-changing moments. I'm assuming John Hamm lives, and Nadine lives, and Gator lives, but some of those other dudes get electrocuted, hit with a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, somebody's taking
yeah,
a sledgehammer to the fucking clavicle. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, I'm wondering. I don't think it looks good for John Hamm's daughters and his wife in the house either. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But
Yeah,
a
they
lot of
were even weird with that.
mythical.
Like he has like twin daughters, and like I don't know, it was just weird how he was with his kids. Like he was,
Yeah,
it's weird, but he was like watching him take a bath and shit. They just like came off like really, he's really detached. It's really
yeah,
like he's not fatherly at all. It's fucking weird.
yeah. And are they his new wife's daughters? They're not Nadine's, but they're blonde hair twins that don't look like anything like the new wife.
Right?
She doesn't look a day over like 22, so I don't
Yeah.
even know if they're. I mean, like, how many wives has Sheriff Roy Tillman had for someone who is so into his own biblical beliefs that are very skewed?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there's so many levels to unpacking this shit, but
It's so great. I mean, even like when like the gang pulls up to like Nadine's house, and like the guy Joe Keery like peers around the driver, and he's got the mask
yeah,
on. I was like, oh, dude, it's so good. Yeah,
banger, man. That
so good.
episode was bangers and mash.
Definitely. Yeah, I can't wait for next week's. What, Wednesday? We got till Wednesday, so another day. Can't wait.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be so good. But
yeah.
yeah, man. Anything else on Fargo? It's so
No,
can't say enough
it
about
it's great, man. We got a bunch of great TV back right now. Like I was telling you, I've been watching Beef, which I'd been put off because that was highly talked about, but that's really freaking good. Like,
it. Yep.
and 4 episodes in, I mean, Stephen Young, it's great. Um,
Ali Wong.
and Ali Wong, David Cho, it's really good. And I mean, we got True Detective Night Detective, January 14th.
It's
Saw
coming
the
up.
date. I meant to share it on our Instagram. So we've got we've got other stuff coming up too. I can't wait to watch that. Haven't seen Jodie Foster in a while.
Yep.
So
Yeah, we've got True
now,
Detective. There's a sci-fi book because I know you're big into sci-fi books, but Netflix is doing The Three Body Problem, which was like a huge groundbreaking Chinese sci-fi novel.
yeah,
Uh,
I heard about that. Yeah,
well,
I've heard of the books. I've never.
I'm like
So there's
halfway
a
through the
show
first
based on it.
book. It's fucking
Okay.
weird. Yeah, but it's good. And then we were just talking about this with Marcus the other day. He just caught up. Tokyo Vice season 2 coming out in February.
Yeah, yeah. So beginning of year is going to kick off really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, you're watching yeah, The Beef. I just started rewatching or continue watching The Boys on Amazon Prime, which is so good. It's so funny.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fucked up, but it's funny. So I'll burn through that. I can talk about that, but yeah, man, there's just so much TV. I thought it felt like we were in a lull, and now I look at like the
yeah,
list of shows I got to watch, and I'm like, oh, I got to watch The Gold, which has our boy River Cartwright in it that you told me, Jack Loudon.
yeah. I've watched the first 3 episodes and then I haven't. I need to go back, but I'm watching so much right now. It's like,
Yeah, we kind
but
of get our
yeah,
hands full at the moment with TV, so it's a good thing
yeah.
to have. But any other thoughts this week, man?
No, just it's gonna be. I mean, by the time all this stuff ends, we're gonna kick right into some good stuff next year. We got some disappointing news. White Lotus not till 2025. I imagine Stranger Things and others. It's going to be another year, so it'll be interesting to see what the gap is going in next year. Now that stuff's just starting to kick back off, we may hit a little lull. I think again till the end of the year or 2025. But I mean, the good thing is we have now a lot of like English shows who weren't affected. So I mean, still horses, and they'll probably have another. They will have another one next year.
Yeah.
And I mean, they already. I was reading they're already like starting to film next season. So
Okay.
like,
Oh yeah. We've got 4 episodes left. I can't wait to see the scenes for next season that are already filmed. Like,
that was remember that after season 1, we're like, holy shit, what?
Yeah.
Like,
it was so good.
We had a whole conversation about like the Back to the Future movies had that at the theater, and you're like, what? I mean, at least like because I saw them in the theater in the 80s, it was like, wait a second, there's gonna be another one, and after 2, there was like, oh my god, there's a third one, like there's a train, like they're in the Old West. Is like, like now it's like you don't see that, and because you don't see the show for another like year or 2.
Yeah, you don't see that for TV. Yeah, it's crazy.
House of the Dragon summer next summer as well.
Nice.
I saw they have a trailer out. It's a summer 2024. So
you got to pull that up. Yep.
Yeah. You don't see much from the trailer. It's like they have some footage already, and they're like, "Okay, here you go." But
I wouldn't be surprised.
So we're gonna have some good stuff.
But yeah, no, nothing else. Just looking forward to some time off from work in a little bit, do some more fishing, maybe some traveling, seeing Post Malone in Vegas at the end of December. So
hell yeah.
Have to give a recap of that trip. So
yeah, that reminded me, Rolling Stones are coming to Houston in April, and I'm buying tickets. Like, nice. I'm so jazzed for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, we're I didn't know they were still touring until you sent me that the other day. That's crazy.
Yep. But yeah, we got a lot going on, man. So it's good to catch up. I'm glad we finally, I think we're getting back on schedule. I think we were behind by about a week.
We're back on schedule. We're just releasing on random days now because whenever we record, but we're dropping one a week again. So that's good at least.
Yeah, we're back to that.
Yeah. But I think the timing of it works well because Fargo is Wednesdays for us.
BAMK's Friday, and what's the other one? Slow Horses is Friday.
Yeah. So we're recording typically Sunday, Monday now, and talking about all 3 shows. So this week later, but cool, man.
But yeah, man, appreciate everybody for kicking it with us this week. Check out the podcast, Instagram. Check out our website, kickingmedia.com. And as Cousin likes to say,
peace.